Hello everyone, I'm going to show you a couple of Christmas designs that I've thought it might be easy for you to have a little go out while we're in lockdown, and instead of doing a flower arrangement I thought I would do something a little bit more crafty so that we can all have a go at this. So I'm going to do some of these moss trees, and they're very popular. So this is ready to start, but I just want to show you from the beginning. Now you need some oasis. You can use the dried oasis for this, or you can just use the ordinary oasis but dry. And I've packed this little plant pot with the oasis, shaped it. You need a good sharp knife for that, and I've shaped it, and then I've gone through various twigs of my contorted and different things, and I've chosen bits where they're straight but got a bit of movement in them, so I've put that into there, and then I've glued, can you see, into the bottom. I've done that with my glue gun so that it makes it really secure, because on top of that you're either going to put a sphere, or as this one I've shaped a block of oasis into a tall tree. So that's where you need your sharp knife, and then pushed it onto the stick and then glued it. I've got my scissors, and one really important thing for this, mossing pins. Now these are the pins that are a bit like tall goal posts. If you haven't got these mossing pins, you can use ordinary strong wire, and you can just bend it over and make your own. I've got some moss from the florist, and I got it during the week, and so what I've done, I've been really watering it so that it's very moist, and I can use it then onto my tree and mould it round. So it's quite fragile, but I've got pieces like this, and it's probably something that one or two of you might want to wear gloves for doing it. Oh, I'm sorry, I've still got my coffee there. I'm so nervous about doing this. Honestly, I hate seeing myself. So it really is quite an ordeal, but you're persuading me. Right, so I'm going to get the first piece, and then I'm going to hold it against my tree. Can you see? Hold it against my tree. I'll turn it round so that it gives it a nice cover. And then I get the mossing pins, and you're better to use these at an angle. And so you can either put them down or push them up, but just put them in an angle. Just secure it with a couple of pins first, because as I say, it's quite delicate this. Turn it round, and you can feel, I'll sort of do it a bit by touch, and push those in there so that I've got that piece secured onto my tree. And so you basically just work round the tree with this lovely bright green moss. It comes in this bright green when you get it from the market, but then it will dry out. But it doesn't matter if it dries out, because it still has that, it's got pieces of grass and all sorts of things in it, as long as there's no biddies in it. I do find that the moss from the market isn't as bad for biddies. And so, but when I get it home, I always make sure, and I spray a lot of fly killer on it, because I hate bugs, and so I just spray it with some fly killer. I nearly choked myself yesterday because it was so strong. And you see how I'm working round that. And then the pieces, oh, I forgot to mention that when you've got it upside down and you first put your glue on, put some moss on the bottom there, because you won't be able to sort of fiddle and get underneath there. So it doesn't matter if you overlap your moss, because you might want to sort of get a better shape with your tree. But do hold it. You see how I'm putting the pin in here and holding it, don't push it. I know we've made it secure, but you know, we've got to I've made it secure, but you can't be too careful just holding it while you're putting your pins in there. So they're very on trend at the moment, and so I thought they'd make things that we could do whilst we're in lockdown, and you could even make them as presents for people, because we tend to forget, you know, that because we can do things, I always sort of thought to myself, oh, I feel awful giving someone something that I've made. You know, it feels a bit sort of mean just giving them something that you've made. And I said this to a guy that used to come into our business, and I said, oh, I always feel really sort of guilty if I give something to someone that I've made. And I've never forgotten his answer, and he said to me, the most precious thing that you can give to anybody is your time. And I think you'll all agree with me on that, because as flower arrangers, we are often asked to do so many things, flower festivals, and, you know, help out at this or the other. And it's very true, the most precious thing you can give anyone is your time. So don't feel that giving them something like this would not be really appreciated. As I've done some of these, I did them earlier, and showed a couple of my friends, and of course they all said, "Ooh, I'd like some of those." So you know, just think that you could work on all different designs, and you can do them to their furnishings, anything that you want. You can design them to go with their homes. Now I'm trying to get this so that we've got a nice point at the top of it. And you see, you've just got to be careful, because if you know, they're only light, the bottom of them. I'm going to get some more around the base of this, while you just push it in the base and let it go up to the trunk of the tree. Now I just need some at the top there, so I'm choosing my pieces that are going to go in there, and push the moss into shape so that you've got a nice shaped tree. Now on the top of that, I want more of a point. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to bundle some of the moss together, like so. Put it in I hope you can all see this. I'm going to bundle some of that together so that I've got a point on the top of my tree, and you can just build that up as well. So I can't imagine that we're sort of thinking about Christmas so soon, and I had that dreaded time when rang me. That's my timer, because we've only got so many minutes to do it, so that means I've got to get on with it. And Muir rang me and said, could I do this? I had the terrible thing of having to get the old Christmas box out, and looking where I'd put this, that and the other. And after Christmas, you're so glad to sort of put everything away. You tend to forget where you've tucked it all, don't you? So I've had the old Christmas boxes up, and I've been on top of the wardrobe and goodness knows where to find things. I better get on with that, because this is now into our time. Now what I'm going to do to decorate that, I'll just clear all that off, because I want this natural, and I quite like it just as it is, and a lot of people would, but I've cut for you some what I call ivy bobs, and I'm just going to, I'll probably only be able to do the front of this because of the time, and I've cut those, and you'll see whether you can see those with the green. You could spray these gold if you wished, and they look really rather nice if you do that. Just give them a waft of gold. but I really want this quite a natural looking tree. I think that's what a lot of the younger ones are looking for, and we're trying to get people interested, these younger ones interested in doing this sort of thing. I have to say, when I got my boxes out yesterday, I absolutely loved it, because my mother always used to say I loved faffing, and if this is faffing, I love it. Shall I show you where I've got the ivy bobs? I hope you can see that. Perhaps it wasn't a good choice, but as I say, I do want this one to be an all green arrangement. So I'll put those in there, and I don't think I can finish it all the way around. I shall finish it later, but it does look rather nice with those in, and you can again get your shape with these. If you need to build it out a little bit more, you can get the bobs. See, that one won't go in. You need to get quite a good stem on it to push it right through the moss. And when you get it in, if you find that something's a little bit too big, you just take it out and trim it. I was a hairdresser in a former life, so I can easily just trim things up and snip things off. So that's the sort of thing that you can do. So I'll turn this round and show you how I've done. See, that's the piece I've just picked up. I'm going to do lally. Take that off. Pull all those little ends off. It's when you've packed it really full of the moss. So that's your ivy in there. And I wouldn't trim this. I like that sort of natural look. But I've put that in there, and then just to show you, I've gathered some variegated ivy here, and I'm just going to wind that through the ivy bobs and put them on there. So I've got to finish this now, because I didn't realise what a short time 10 minutes was, but you know, you use these pieces and you can put it all round, but I'll show you how I've wound that through, which I particularly like. Now, if you want to bring it into a more Christmas arrangement with a bit of sparkle, I've just done a bow that I can, I'll just cut this off, that I can pop on the right hand side of this. That's my tree, or the front of my tree, I should say. And then I'm going to keep all those ivy bobs, move the old cup of coffee, done, show you that's what this, I've got a couple of ideas. That's one that I've done with berries, can you see that? I've done that with red berries, and then I've put some red bells in the bottom of that. That one goes there. You may not see them all on the bottom of the table. I've done a little one there with pearls, and then this one is moss and star anise. But if you can't do those, I've got a French cone here that I've wafted with red and gold, and that's stood in another antique pot. Can you see those? I think I'm a bit too far this way. Right, that's better. And there's my little pearl one. Oh, I'm standing on here, you can see them better. And that's my French cone, just in there. And this one's just beech nuts on a sphere. I hope you've enjoyed that little insight into what I'll probably be doing for Christmas this year. Thank you very much.